get by, and he gets sucked up in this world, and he's just kind of doing what he thinks is right. Although he should know that you shouldn't kill someone, he just does it because he takes it on as another job. He doesn't realize it, that it would cause him long-term effects. You feel sympathetic towards him because you feel like he's just a guy that's trying to get by, and then he doesn't realize the effects of what he did would do to him or other people.
This movie, and you really loved how bleak the ending was, and did you put together some recommendations of mean movies, or did you just want to discuss mean movies to coincide with this?
I think that there are several films that the King of the Ants really does borrow from, and they have to do with movies that they just kind of go along. They're really good films, and then they just have really mean and brutal endings. Like, I think that was the first thing I texted you when I was done watching this. Like, this is a mean effing movie.
The first thing you texted me was how much you loved. What movie did you yell at me for taking? Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. You said you love that movie.
It was a good one.
And you said if I ever draft it before you, you're going to scream at me and quit.
How dare you say Dino Croc around me?
No, it is. And I think I got more excited for the film knowing about the mean ending, because not many movies go there, and I kind of appreciate when movies do. Did you ever watch 47 Meters Down?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Remember, I think that was one of the first things we talked about, that whenever that scene where the cage actually goes all the way down to the bottom, it was almost like it felt suffocating.
The ending where she's basically gone crazy because of the lack of oxygen or whatever she's breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, her friend is dead and she's just lost her mind. Sorry, spoilers. But I love how mean that is. That's a mean ending.
Because usually we have endings that everything goes good and everyone's always like, oh, okay, no worries, it's all good. And it's like, well, that's not very realistic as to what would happen. And I think that with 47 Meters Down, yeah, you would definitely have gone insane, and someone would, if not both, would have died. And that's what makes it so much better.
I love that.
Yeah, I like 47 Meters Down. But to go back with King of the Ants, some movies that I said that that are very mean. Whereas like they're good films, and then you're just like, ooh, that was hard. I put down Casino. The movie's pretty brutal, but the ending alone, Joe Pesci gets beaten almost to death. They beat his brother to death and then bury them together, bury Joe Pesci's character alive. And then there's an attempted blowing up of Robert De Niro, and everybody else just gets killed. It's like, that's mean as shit.
Yeah. Super. I don't think I'll ever forget that watching, and I think that's one of the really great parts about Casino and Goodfellas. They hang around to show how shitty their lives get, and it feels oppressive.
There is no happy ending.
The cooking scene at the end, in Goodfellas when they're sitting in their house cooking, and they hear the helicopter, and it becomes so oppressively depressing.
Yeah,
and I love that.
There's no upside to this.
And I also like mean endings as well. This movie really wallows in. Some people have called it nihilistic. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know if you call it nihilistic. It's definitely, it shows what torturing someone would do to you, and it makes you want to take your revenge back. And it's like, well, what does Crowley have to do in order to get out of this? He has to become what these people are.
And then he becomes too much, and they're like, hey man, you went crazy.
Yeah, well, a little bit much. He beats the one guy. He has that sledgehammer, beats the one guy with it, then he sets fire to Adam Baldwin, and then, has the gas leaking in the house, sets a fire and blows it up.
With the shoe?
And it's like, well, that pretty much does it right there.
Yeah, those guys got... And then, but I guess the end, I hate getting set up with expectations, Chris Kelly, and I thought this movie was going to have a meaner ending, because it kind of leaves with him being an avenging angel. I thought maybe he gets tortured, he finds happiness in his life, and then he just gets murdered. That's what I was expecting. So when he lived, I thought it was neat, but I guess I hate saying expectations, wreck me, but I guess it wasn't as mean of an ending as I was hoping for, from your comment.
He didn't burn a man alive.
Yeah, but I guess, all right, so when I mean mean, so in my head, this is my idea of a mean ending. It's something happens to the main character where they're dead, or they're crazy, or they're going to jail, or there's not a happy ending. Now, this movie does not have a happy ending, However, it leaves with him victorious, even though his mind frame is done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he's ruined for the rest of his life, but he did win.
And so I guess that's what I was. A mean ending to me is when someone you've known or like bites it. The ending of Seven, right? What's in the box? What's in the box?
I actually wrote that down as one of my other mean movies.
I mean, Funny Games. That's a double mean.
Yeah, that movie is just like. Ugh.
That pulls a triple mean on you. A triple mean on you, Chris Kelly. That one gets you.
Rough.
Last Seduction. With Linda Fiorentino lighting the thing at the end, and Peter Berg is done.
I don't think I've ever seen The Last Seduction.
Oh, I just wrecked it for you. And then Alien Covenant. I mean, that's Alien Covenant. I love the ending of that as well. That's just a real gut punch of a film.
Another one I wrote down was Cabin Fever.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, everybody dies in that one. Spoiler alert.
That's a nasty picture.
Then you wind up infecting the entire, almost probably the rest of the world. So
because the water truck goes out, right?
Yeah, that's. The whole planet's doomed. Then another mean ending. Another mean movie I would say would be The Mist.
Oh goodness.
I mean the guy he pops everybody,
Woo!
kills his son, and then he doesn't have enough bullets. And the plan is to him walk out of the car and then get taken by the insects or whatever you want to call them. And then it turns out the military has cleared the way and is disposing of everything and saving the day, and he's just left there with a pile of bodies.
And you see a lot of the people from the grocery store fine.
And you see the lady that they sent off on her own. It's like, ugh. Yeah, that's a definite kick.
If you're in a 4D theater at the end of the film, an employee just runs up and hits you in the stomach.
It's kind of like the beginning of Antichrist, but it's at the end of the movie The Mist.
Oh my gosh.
In the ending of The Mist, you get punched in the face. In the beginning of Antichrist, you get punched in the face.
What does the fox? What does the fox say to him? Chaos reigns.
Chaos reigns.
Remember?
In Antichrist?
Yeah. Remember when the fox talks to him?
I have to watch that movie again. Last time I saw that was 2012. I think I told you this, that I saw that in the same weekend I saw 12 Years a Slave, and I was like, why did I do that?
That's a rough one.
But another mean movie I put down is the classic The Godfather.
Oh man.
Yeah, as soon as Michael gets in, man, everybody's done.
Horse heads everywhere.
Oh my god! And the movie just did guy goes to get a shave, slits his throat. Two guys get shot. Wow, just like nonstop. Another mean ending, Hostel.
Oh yeah.
And the original ending was supposed to be a lot worse.
And in the sequel, he gets killed, right?
Yes. In the original ending of Hostel, he was supposed to kidnap the German guy's daughter, but Eli Roth thought that was a little bit too much, so he just has him killing the guy and then escaping.
At the end, I think Hostel 2 is starting to be appreciated more. What are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed Hostel 2. I don't think it was very well received when it first came out.
Yeah, expectations kind of killed it. Or anything else you want to talk about in this movie?
Well, there's a few other things that I just wanted to comment on. The writer of this was Charlie Higgin. He's a British novelist and an actor, but he's mainly known for his books. He started writing the new James Bond novels as of 2004.
Nice.
So around the time that he had made King of the Ants was whenever he got hired on to do the James Bond novels.
Someone sees it and it's like, well...
What the hell is this?
He also acted in Broadchurch. That's a big show. I like Broadchurch.
I haven't seen it, but I saw that's what he's mostly known for. I haven't seen it, though.
Yeah, I like that show. He's good.
The producers of this were the founding members of the Asylum. Well, but they turn out movies. I mean, they turn out more films and TV shows than Tyler Perry. They're nonstop. But David Michael Latt, David Rimwali, and Sherry Strain, they have dozens of movies still in the works coming out.
I mean, Sharknado gave them enough money to pay for many, many, many more.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, who thought that was actually going to be a huge success? It's a movie about sharks in a tornado, and it's like, who thought that would work? And it's like, sometimes it works. And originally in Sharknado, the Ian Ziering character was supposed to be Steve Guttenberg.
Ooh,
so Steve Guttenberg turned it down, and then when they wanted to do Lava Lantula, Steve Guttenberg said he would do that.
And then that didn't make it nearly as big as Sharknado.
No. Well, I mean, who thought that Sharknado was going to work? But yeah, it didn't really work out that well. In my opinion, Sharknado went downhill after I think it was like part 4 when they did time traveling or was that part 4 or 5? I can't remember. That's when they got a little ridiculous, if that even makes sense. But the special effects artist on this was Chris Bailey, and he has 129 credits in special effects to his name, and he comes from a family of special effects artists. So that would explain why when we were talking about how the ending of this movie and how George went and they show his dead body and his head being thrown into the fire, it looks like actually George went makes sense because the guy who was involved in all that had a whole family background of special effects. And the makeup artist is from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, which is not that crazy far away from where I'm from in Pennsylvania. But he has been featured on a lot of different television shows, especially he's a judge on Face Off, but he did the Hunger Games films and the recent Star Trek movies.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these people ended up staying busy. Even the main actor in this film stayed busy. So it's nice.
Yeah.
People kept making movies.
The makeup artist Glenn Hetrick, he does a lot of superhero type of films. He did Legion, Heroes. They went on to do various other ones called like Extent and CSI, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans, and Star Trek Discovery.
Nice.
So a lot of the people involved in this movie eventually went on to do bigger and better things.
Love it. So what are our Chris Kelly recommendations here?
Oh, whoops. Wait, hold on a second. Just one more thing.
Oh.
The first AD on this was B. Scott Senechel, who was a boom op on Brewster's Millions, and he's a DGA trainee starting with The Great Outdoors. He was a DGA trainee on They Live, and then he became a second AD on Hoffa, Natural Born Killers, Operation Dumbo Drop.
Wow.
And isn't that nuts?
And then, so he first did this movie?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Isn't that nuts?
So
he had a whole bunch of background on this.
I wonder what he thought working on this movie after being on those giant ones. I mean, I guess you got to do a first AD somewhere along the line.
I think after a while, I mean, you got to imagine if he started as a DGA trainee on The Great Outdoors, he'd been working for almost 15 years at this point as an AD. He's probably like, nah, you know.
He hates life by now.
He's probably done with it at this point. Probably like, what? I don't really care. Whatever. You want me to first AD this? Great. We'll shoot it. We'll shoot it here. We'll do this, that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, do what you want.
All right. We'll like for the asylum. Great. Cut the check.
Cut the check.
This King of the Ants, as we said in the beginning of this podcast, if you are interested in watching this film, it's literally streaming on every platform that you can imagine. It's the more, I guess you could say the easiest thing to say is, what is it not streaming on? You can go on any platform that you stream your movies on and watch it.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
On IMDb, it gets a 6.2 rating.
Which is about right, would you say?
I think that's fair. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. I enjoyed myself watching it. Yeah, I gave it a 6. It was good.
I mean, yeah, final thoughts for me. I think it succeeds in the mission that it set out to do. It wanted to be a nasty little crime thriller, and it was a nasty little crime thriller, so you gotta give it props.
Yeah.
And there's so little to... Normally, you and I like commentaries. We like to read the interviews, behind the scenes, little clips, but there's nothing. So we don't know the budget. We don't know how many days it shot. We don't know any issues that popped up. So it's kind of hard to get a gauge on that, which is kind of a bummer, but I still think there's a lot to chew on. But no, if you're into nasty little movies, I totally recommend you watch this. Yeah.
I also wanted to add that the director, Stuart Gordon, he is currently working on a movie that is called The Cannibal Cafe. Oh, sorry. That's where the movie was originally founded. But The Rottenberg Cannibal, which is about Armin, I can't pronounce the last name, but Muis from Germany, who was a man who went on a website where he met another guy who agreed to be killed and eaten by him. Do you remember this in the early 2000s?
No.
This was like a big story. I remember this, but it was the website was in the dark web called the Cannibal Cafe, where people went in there to talk about their cannibal fantasies. And another man met another man who willingly allowed him to kill him and eat him.
Wow.
And that's what currently Stuart Gordon is working on. And a great quote that I found from Stuart Gordon that kind of goes with this movie and goes with a lot of his movies in general is that he said, horror and sex go hand in hand. The two are like life and death. And I think that that's very fitting for this and his movies in general.
Well, definitely for this one.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
But yeah, my little theme song, I guess.
You telling me to sing for you now? All right, it's time for Chris Kelly's recommendations.
There you go. Punch